The 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Preamble. We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace, do ordain and promulgate this Constitution. Article 1. National Territory. The national territory comprises the Philippine archipelago with all the islands and waters embraced therein, and all other territories over which the Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdiction, consisting of its terrestrial, fluvial, and aerial domains, including its territorial sea, the seabed, the subsoil, the insular shelves, and other submarine areas. The waters around, between, and connecting the islands of the archipelago, regardless of their breed and dimensions, form part of the internal waters of the Philippines. Article 2. Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Principles. Section 1 to Section 6. Section 1. The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. Section 2. The Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy, adopts the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land and adheres to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom, cooperation, and amity with all nations. Section 3. Civilian authority is, at all times, supreme over the military. The armed forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state. Its goal is to secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. Section 4. The prime duty of the government is to serve and protect the people. The government may call upon the people to defend the state, and in the fulfillment thereof, all citizens may be required, under conditions provided by law, to render personal, military, or civil service. Section 5. The maintenance of peace and order and protection of life, liberty, and property, and the promotion of general welfare are essential for the enjoyment by all the people of the blessings of democracy. Section 6. The separation of church and state shall be inviolable. State policies. Section 7. The state shall pursue an independent foreign policy. In its relations with other states, the paramount consideration shall be national sovereignty, territorial integrity, national interest, and the right to self-determination. Section 8. The Philippines, consistent with the national interest, adopts and pursues a policy of freedom from nuclear weapons in its territory. Section 9. The state shall promote a just and dynamic social order that will ensure the prosperity and independence of the nation and free the people from poverty through policies that provide adequate social services, promote full employment, a rising standard of living, and an improved quality of life for all. Section 10. The state shall promote social justice in all phases of national development. Section 11. The state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Section 12. The state recognizes the sanctity of family life and shall protect and strengthen the family as a basic autonomous social institution. It shall equally protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn from conception. The natural and primary right and duty of parents in the rearing of the youth, for civic efficiency and the development of moral character shall receive the support of the government. Section 13. The state recognizes the vital role of the youth in nation building and shall promote and protect their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social well being. It shall inculcate in the youth patriotism and nationalism and encourage their involvement in public and civic affairs. Section 14. The state recognizes the role of women in nation building and shall ensure the fundamental equality before the law of women and men. Section 15. The state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. Section 16. The state shall protect and advance the right of the people to a balanced and healthful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. Section 17. The state shall give priority to education, science and technology, arts, culture, and sports to foster patriotism and nationalism, accelerate social progress, and promote total human liberation and development. Section 18. The state affirms labor as a primary social economic force. It shall protect the rights of workers and promote their welfare. Section 19. The state shall develop a self-reliant and independent national economy effectively controlled by Filipinos. Section 20. The state recognizes the indispensable role of the private sector, encourages private enterprise, and provides incentives to needed investments. Section 21. The state shall promote comprehensive rural development and agrarian reform. Section 22. The state recognizes and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities within the framework of national unity and development. Section 23. The state shall encourage non-governmental, community-based, or sectoral organizations that promote the welfare of the nation. Section 24. The state recognizes the vital role of communication and information in nation building. Section 25. The state shall ensure the autonomy of local governments. Section 26. The state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may be defined by law. Section 27. The state shall maintain honesty and integrity in the public service and take positive and effective measures against graft and corruption. Section 28. Subject to reasonable conditions prescribed by law, the state adopts and implements a policy of full public disclosure of all its transactions involving public interest. Article 3. Bill of Rights. Section 1. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of laws. Section 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Section 3. Paragraph 1. The privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by law. Paragraph 2. Any evidence obtained in violation of this or the preceding section shall be inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. Section 4. No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. Section 5. No law shall be made respecting establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The free exercise and enjoyment of religious profession and worship, without discrimination or preference, shall forever be allowed. No religious test shall be required for the exercise of civil or political rights. Section 6. The liberty of abode and of changing the same within the limits prescribed by law shall not be impaired except upon lawful order of the court. Neither shall the right to travel be impaired except in the interest of national security, public safety, or public health, as may be provided by law. Section 7. The right of the people to information on matters of public concern shall be recognized. Access to official records and to documents and papers pertaining to official acts, transactions, or decisions, as well as to government research data used as basis for policy development, shall be afforded the citizen, subject to such limitations as may be provided by law. Section 8. The right of the people, including those employed in the public and private sectors, to form unions, associations, or societies for purposes not contrary to law shall not be abridged. Section 9. Private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. Section 10. No law impairing the obligation of contracts shall be passed. Section 11. Free access to the courts and quasi-judicial bodies and adequate legal assistance shall not be denied to any person by reason of poverty. Section 12, Paragraph 1. Any person under investigation for the commission of an offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. If the person cannot afford the services of counsel, he must be provided with one. These rights cannot be waived except in writing and in the presence of counsel. Paragraph 2. No torture, force, violence, threat, intimidation, or any other means which vitiate the free will shall be used against him. Secret detention places, solitary, incommunicado, or other similar forms of detention are prohibited. Paragraph 4. Any confession or admission obtained in violation of this or Section 17 thereof shall be inadmissible in evidence against him. 4. The law shall provide for penal and civil sanctions for violations of this section, as well as compensation to and rehabilitation of victims of torture or similar practices and their families. Section 13. All persons except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua when evidence of guilt is strong shall, before conviction, be bailable by sufficient sureties, or be released on recognizance as may be provided by law. The right to bail shall not be impaired even when the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus is suspended. Excessive bail shall not be required. Section 14, Paragraph 1. No person shall be held to answer for a criminal offense without due process of law. Paragraph 2. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall be presumed innocent until the contrary is proved and shall enjoy the right to be heard by himself and counsel, to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation against him, to have a speedy, impartial, and public trial, to meet the witnesses face to face, and to have compulsory process to secure the attendance of witnesses and the production of evidence in his behalf. However, after arraignment, trial may proceed notwithstanding the absence of the accused, provided that he has been duly notified and his failure to appear is unjustifiable. Section 15. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended except in cases of invasion or rebellion when the public safety requires it. Section 16. All persons shall have the right to a speedy disposition of their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. Section 17. No person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Section 18, Paragraph 1. No person shall be detained solely by reason of his political beliefs and aspirations. Paragraph 2. No involuntary servitude in any form shall exist except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. Section 19, Paragraph 1. Excessive fines shall not be imposed, nor cruel, degrading, or inhumane punishment inflicted. Neither shall death penalty be imposed unless, for compelling reasons involving heinous crimes, the Congress hereafter provides for it. Any death penalty already imposed shall be reduced to reclusion perpetua. Paragraph 2. The employment of physical, psychological, or degrading punishment against any prisoner or detainee, or the use of substandard or inadequate penal facilities under subhuman conditions shall be dealt with by law. Section 20. No person shall be imprisoned for debt or non-payment of a poll tax. Section 21. No person shall be twice put in jeopardy of punishment for the same offense. If an act is punished by a law and an ordinance, conviction or acquittal under either shall constitute a bar to another prosecution for the same act. Section 22. No ex post facto law or bill of attainder shall be enacted. Article 4. Citizenship. Section 1. The following are citizens of the Philippines. 1. Those who are citizens of the Philippines at the time of the adoption of this Constitution. 2. Those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines. 3. Those born before January 17, 1973, of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority, and for those who are naturalized in accordance with law. Section 2. Natural-born citizens are those who are citizens of the Philippines from birth without having to perform any act to acquire or perfect their Philippine citizenship. Those who elect Philippine citizenship in accordance with Paragraph 3, Section 1 hereof shall be deemed natural-born citizens. Section 3. Philippine citizenship may be lost or reacquired in the manner provided by law. Section 4. Citizens of the Philippines who marry aliens shall retain their citizenship unless by their act or omission they are deemed, under the law, to have renounced it. Section 5. Dual allegiance of citizens is inimical to the national interest and shall be dealt with by law. Article 5. Suffrage. Section 1. Suffrage may be exercised by all citizens of the Philippines, not otherwise disqualified by law, who are at least 18 years of age, and who shall have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year, and in the place wherein they propose to vote for at least 6 months immediately preceding the election. No literacy, property, or other substantive requirement shall be imposed on the exercise of suffrage. Section 2. The Congress shall provide a system for securing the secrecy and sanctity of the ballot, as well as a system of absentee voting by qualified Filipinos abroad. The Congress shall also design a procedure for the disabled and the illiterate to vote without the assistance of other persons. Until then, they shall be allowed to vote under existing laws and such rules as the Commission on Elections may promulgate to protect the secrecy of the ballot. Article 6. The Legislative Department. Section 1. The legislative power shall be vested in the Congress of the Philippines, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives, except to the extent reserved to the people by the provision on initiative and referendum. Section 2. The Senate shall be composed of 24 senators who shall be elected at large by the qualified voters of the Philippines as may be provided by law. Section 3. No person shall be a senator unless he is a natural born citizen of the Philippines and on the day of the election is at least 35 years of age, able to read and write, a registered voter, and a resident of the Philippines for not less than 2 years immediately preceding the day of the election. Section 4. The term of office of the senators shall be 6 years and shall commence, unless otherwise provided by law, at noon on the 30th day of June next following their election. No senator shall serve more than 2 consecutive terms. Voluntary renunciation of the office for any length of time shall not considered as an interruption in the continuity of his service for the full term for which he was elected. Section 5, Paragraph 1. The House of Representatives shall be composed of not more than 250 members, unless otherwise fixed by law, who shall be elected from legislative districts apportioned among the provinces, cities, and the metropolitan Manila area in accordance with the number of their respective inhabitants, and on the basis of a uniform and progressive ratio, and those who, as provided by law, shall be elected through a party list system of registered national, regional, and sectoral parties of organizations. Paragraph 2. The party list representatives shall constitute 20% of the total number of representatives, including those under the party list. For 3 consecutive terms after the ratification of this Constitution, 1/2 of the seats allocated to party list representatives shall be filled, as provided by law, by selection or election from the labor, peasant, urban poor, indigenous cultural communities, women, youth, and such other sectors as may be provided by law, except the religious sector. Paragraph 3. Each legislative district shall comprise, as far as practicable, contiguous, compact, and adjacent territory. Each city with a population of at least 250,000 of or each province shall have at least one representative. Within 3 years following the return of every census, the Congress shall make a reapportionment of legislative districts based on the standards provided in this section. Section 6. No person shall be a member of the House of Representatives unless he is a natural born citizen of the Philippines and on the day of the election is at least 25 years of age, able to read and write, and except the party list representatives, a registered voter in the district in which he shall be elected, and the resident thereof for a period of not less than 1 year immediately preceding the day of the election. Section 7. The members of the House of the Representatives shall be elected for a term of 3 years, which shall begin unless otherwise provided by law, at noon on the 30th day of June next following their election. No member of the House of Representatives shall serve for more than 3 consecutive terms. Voluntary renunciation of the office for any length of time shall not be considered as an interruption in the continuity of his service for the full term for which he was elected. Section 8. Unless otherwise provided by law, the regular election of the senators and the members of the House of Representatives shall be held on the second Monday of May. Section 9. In case of vacancy in the Senate or in the House of Representatives, a special election may be called to fill such vacancy in the manner prescribed by law, but the senator or member of the House of Representatives thus elected shall serve only for the unexpired term. Section 10. The salaries of senators and members of the House of Representatives shall be determined by law. No increase in said compensation shall take effect until after the expiration of the full term of all the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives approving such increase. Section 11. A senator or member of the House of Representatives shall, in all offenses punishable by not more than 6 years imprisonment, but privileged from arrest while the Congress is in session. No member shall be questioned nor be held liable in any other place for any speech or debate in the Congress or in any committee thereof. Section 12. All members of the Senate and the House of Representatives shall, upon assumption of office, make a full disclosure of their financial and business interest. They shall notify the House concerned of a potential conflict of interest that may arise from the filing of proposed legislation of which they are authors. Section 14. No senator or member of the House of Representatives may personally appear as counsel before any court of justice or before the electoral tribunals or quasi-judicial and other administrative bodies. Neither shall he directly or indirectly be interested financially in any contract with or in any franchise or special privilege granted by the government or any subdivision, agency, or instrumentality thereof, including any government-owned or controlled corporation or its subsidiary during his term of office. He shall not intervene in any matter before any office of the government for his pecuniary benefit or where he may be called upon to act on account of his office. Section 15. The Congress shall convene once every year on the fourth Monday of July for its regular session, unless a different date is fixed by law, and shall continue to be in session for such number of days as it may determine until 30 days before the opening of its next regular session, exclusive of Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays. The President may call a special session at any time. Section 16, Paragraph 1, the Senate shall elect its President and the House of Representatives its Speaker by a majority vote of all its respective members. Each House shall choose such other officers as it may deem necessary. Paragraph 2, a majority of each House shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day and may compel the attendance of absent members in such manners and under such penalties as such House may provide. Paragraph 3, each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of two-thirds of all its members, suspend or expel a member. A penalty of suspension when imposed shall not exceed 60 days. Paragraph 4. Each House shall keep a journal of its proceedings and from time to time publish the same expecting such parts as may, in its judgment, affect national security, and the yeas and nays on any question shall, at the request of one-fifth of the members present, be entered in the journal. Each House shall also keep a record of its proceedings. Paragraph 5. Neither House during the sessions of the Congress shall, without the consent of the other, adjourn for more than 3 days, nor to any other place than that in which the two houses shall be sitting. Section 18. There shall be a commission on appointments consisting of the President of the Senate as ex officio chairman, 12 senators, and 12 members of the House of Representatives, elected by each House on the basis of proportional representation from the political parties and parties or organizations registered under the party list system represented therein. The chairman of the commission shall not vote except in case of a tie. The commission shall act on all appointments submitted to it within 30 session days of the Congress from their submission. The commission shall rule by a majority vote of all the members. Section 19. The electoral tribunals and the Commission on Appointments shall be constituted within 30 days after the Senate and the House of Representatives shall have been organized with the election of the President and the Speaker. The Commission on Appointments shall meet only while the Congress is in session, at the call of its chairman or a majority of all its members, to discharge such powers and functions as are herein conferred upon it. Section 20. The records and books of accounts of the Congress shall be preserved and be open to the public in accordance with law, and such books shall be audited by the Commission on Audit, which shall publish annually an itemized list of amounts paid to and expenses incurred for each member. Section 21. The Senate or the House of Representatives or any of its respective committees may conduct inquiries in aid of legislation in accordance with its duly published rules of procedure. The rights of persons appearing in or affected by such inquiries shall be respected. Section 22. The heads of departments may, upon their own initiative, with the consent of the President or upon the request of either House, as the rules of each House shall provide, appear before and be heard by such House on any matter pertaining to their departments. Written questions shall be submitted to the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives at least 3 days before their scheduled appearance. Interpellations shall not be limited to written questions, but may cover matters related thereto. When the security of the state or the public interest so requires that the President so states in writing, the appearance shall be conducted in executive session. Section 23, Paragraph 1, the Congress, by a vote of two-thirds of both houses in joint session assembled, voting separately, shall have the sole power to declare the existence of a state of war. In paragraph 2, in times of war or other national emergency, the Congress may by law authorize the President for a limited period and subject to such restrictions as it may prescribe, to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out a declared national policy. Unless sooner withdrawn by resolution of the Congress, such powers shall cease upon the next adjournment thereof. Section 24. All appropriation, revenue, or tariff bills, bills authorizing increase of the public debt, bills of local application, and private bills shall originate exclusively in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments. Section 25, Paragraph 1, the Congress may not increase the appropriations recommended by the President for the operation of the government as specified in the budget. The form, content, and manner of preparation of the budget shall be prescribed by law. Paragraph 2. No provision or enactment shall be embraced in the General Appropriations Bill unless it relates specifically to some particular appropriation therein. Any such provision or enactment shall be limited in its operation to the appropriation to which it relates. Paragraph 3. The procedure in approving appropriations for the Congress shall strictly follow the procedure for approving appropriations for other departments and agencies. Paragraph 4. A special appropriations bill shall specify the purpose for which it is intended and shall be supported by funds actually available as certified by the National Treasurer or to be raised by a corresponding revenue proposed therein. Paragraph 5. No law shall be passed authorizing any transfer of appropriations. However, the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and the heads of constitutional commissions may, by law, be authorized to augment any item in the General Appropriations Law for their respective offices from savings in other items of their respective appropriations. Paragraph 6. Discretionary funds appropriated for particular officials shall be dispersed only for public purposes to be supported by appropriate vouchers and subject to such guidelines as may be prescribed by law. Paragraph 7. If by the end of any fiscal year the Congress shall have failed to pass the General Appropriations Bill for the ensuing fiscal year, the General Appropriations Law for the preceding fiscal year shall be deemed reenacted and shall remain in force and effect until the General Appropriations Bill is passed by the Congress. Section 26, Paragraph 1. Every bill passed by the Congress shall embrace only one subject, which shall be expressed in the title thereof. Paragraph 2. No bill passed by either house shall become a law unless it has passed 3 readings on separate days and printed copies thereof in its final form have been distributed to its members 3 days before its passage, except when the President certifies to the necessity of its immediate enactment to meet a public calamity or emergency. Upon the last reading of a bill, no amendment thereto shall be allowed, and the vote thereon shall be taken immediately thereafter, and the yeas and nays entered in the journal. Section 27, Paragraph 1. Every bill passed by the Congress shall, before it becomes a law, be presented to the President. If he approves the same, he shall sign it. Otherwise, he shall veto it and return the same with his objections to the house where it originated, which shall enter the objections at large in its journal and proceed to reconsider it. If, after such reconsideration, two-thirds of all the members of such house shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent together with objections to the other house, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered, and if approved by two-thirds of all the members of the house, it shall become a law. In all such cases, the votes of each house shall be determined by yeas or nays, and the names of the members voting for or against shall be entered in its journal. The President shall communicate his veto of any bill to the House where it originated within 30 days after the date of receipt thereof. Otherwise, it shall become a law as if he had signed it. Paragraph 2. The President shall have the power to veto any particular item or items in an appropriation, revenue, or tariff bill, but the veto shall not affect the item or items to which he does not object. Section 28, Paragraph 1. The rule of taxation shall be uniform and equitable. The Congress shall evolve a progress system of taxation. Paragraph 2. The Congress may by law authorize the President to fix within specified limits and subject to such limitations and restrictions as it may impose tariff rates, import and export quotas, tonnage and wharfage dues, and other duties or imports within the framework of the National Development Program of the government. Paragraph 3. Charitable institutions, churches, and personages or convents appurtenant thereto, mosques, non-profit cemeteries, and all lands, buildings, and improvements actually, directly, and exclusively used for religious, charitable, or educational purposes shall be exempt from taxation. Paragraph 4. No law granting any tax exemption shall be passed without the concurrence of a majority of all the members of the Congress. Section 29, Paragraph 1. No money shall be paid out of the Treasury except in pursuance of an appropriation made by law. Paragraph 2. No public money or property shall be appropriated, applied, paid, or employed directly or indirectly for the use, benefit, or support of any sect, church, denomination, sectarian institution, or system of religion, or of any priest, preacher, minister, or other religious teacher, or dignitary as such, except when such priest, preacher, minister, or dignitary is assigned to the armed forces or to any penal institution or government orphanage or leprosarium. Paragraph 3. All money collected on any tax levied for a special purpose shall be treated as a special fund and paid out for such purpose only. If the purpose of which a special fund was created has been fulfilled or abundant, the balance of any, if any, shall be transferred to the general funds of the government.